The topic that we're going to be looking at today is going to be radical equations. So we're going to get started with the problem, which is going to be 3x equals 3 plus the radical of 18x minus 18. And so we're going to jump right into this. The first thing that we're going to do is isolate the radical, which is the radical, if you do not know, would be the 18x minus 18 that's within, the radical. So what we're going to do, isolate it, means to just have it like on one side, just have it by itself. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract 3 on both sides of the equation, because what we do on one side, we do to the other. So that our new equation looks like 3x minus 3 equals the radical of 18x minus 18. That's our new equation right now. The next step is to get rid of the radical. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the opposite operation, the inverse operation, my bad. So the opposite of this would be to square root it. Or when we do on one side, we do to the other. So we're going to square root the 2x minus 3. So this is, on this side, simple. You just take it out, take out the radical, and it leaves you with 18x minus 18. And then it's going to equal, when this becomes a binomial, so like when you factor it out, when you FOIL it, it'll be like this. So 3x minus 3 multiplied by 3x minus 3, on each side. Pretty much it's going to get out to 9x squared minus 18x plus 9. So this is our new equation now. 9x squared minus 18x plus 9 equals 18x minus 9. So now what we want to do is we want to combine, the common terms. So we're going to now move everything we'll move everything all now to one side. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 18x on both sides. And that's going to get us to be 9x squared minus 36x. And then we're also going to move over this negative 18 over here. But because we're moving it on the opposite side, we get to add 18, because gotta cancel it. And then plus 18 over on this side as well. So then it would be 27. Okay, and because it'll be 27, now we set to 0. We set to 0 because we know that we had something on here. We had numbers here. So now that they're gone, we gotta set them to 0. That's the 0 property, because this is gonna be something that we can even put into the coordinate grids, so that when you graph it, we know that there's gonna be intersects on the y-axis, which is going to be 0. So this is like the 0 part, man. So then what we do here on this part next is that we're going to find the GCF, which is the greatest common factor for the numbers here. So what we're going to figure out is what number divides into these all equally, obviously the greatest, hence greatest common factor. So looking at this, look at a 9. The 9 fits well because it's a factor of 36 by 4, 27 by 3. So what we do is take out a 9 from each part. So it's like dividing it by 9, sort of. So you put 9 outside, and within the parentheses you keep the variables, because 9 divided by 9 equals 1. So you don't even need anything there because of the identity rule. Then you have negative 36 divided by 9. That's going to be negative 4 in front of the x. Then 27 divided by 9, that's going to be a positive 3. And you're still going to set this all to 0. the next thing that you're going to do is, you could factor this out more. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep the 9 again on the outside, but now, we can kind of ignore it because we want to focus now what's on the inside of this. We want to focus here. So, usually when we want to find for the x values, it's going to be like that simple trick where, when you add up the two x values, they should equal this number. And then when they're multiplied together, they should equal this number. So when they're multiplied, they equal the one that is with the x, and then added together, they're like the one with the isolated number, without the variable. So looking at this, it could be, when you add them together, it's going to be like a -3 and a -1. Because when you add them together, you get a -4, and then when you multiply them together, you get a +3. So it kind of like checks out here. So then again, you're going to set this all up to set it equal to 0. And then just to ensure that like you got your x values, you just set your x minus 3 to 0 as well, and your x minus 1 to 0 as well. Sorry. So what you do on one side, you do to the you want to get x by itself. So you want to do, when you add 3 on this side, you want to add it again on this side, so that x equals 3. And then over here, you want to do the same thing with the 1. Add 1 on both sides, x equals 1. So that your x value should be 3 and 1. And that should be your final answer.